Hola amores, and welcome back to the channel. And to those who don't know me, I am Maritza, currently a graduate master's student in psychology. And today we're talking about how to get over that one person who you never actually dated. So let's pay attention and let's get into it right now. There's a saying in Spanish that says, lo difícil en conseguir es lo más fácil de olvidar. And it means what is most difficult to achieve is what is most difficult to forget. All right? So my loves, why is it that sometimes the hardest person to get over is not an ex-spouse, is not a long-term partner, but rather someone who you never even officially dated? Why is it that you are grieving a relationship that only existed in your mind, in your head? And worse stuff, because of that, sometimes you feel like you're not even allowed to be this hurt, right? However, I understand your pain, I know it's real. And today we're going to talk about why these almost relationships are so addictive and what are the 3 psychological steps you need to take to finally close that chapter for good. All right. So first, to begin, let's talk about something called the idealization trap. Because when you date somebody, you obviously are able to see their flaws. You see their grumpy sides in the mornings, or you even see their bad habits. Oh, on top of that, you can even see the way they handle stress. However, when you do not date that person, you only can see their highlighted reels, the best version of themselves. Psychology here is this, is that you are not mourning a person, you're mourning a fantasy because there was never a real relationship to ground your reality in. So your brain, all it does is it fills in all the gaps with so much perfection that doesn't really exist. So the reality check is this, is that you're not missing that one person. You're missing the version of yourself you imagined you'd be with that person in your life. Now let's talk about something else called the zygarnic effect. And the reason why your brain will decide to not let go, I'll tell you. Well, in psychology, we know that the zygarnic effect, what is it? It's that part of our brain that remembers mostly the uncompleted or the interrupted tasks, a lot better than the completed ones. So it relates because what? Since the relationship was never even reached to a natural conclusion, like a breakup or a fight, or maybe a realization of some incompatibility, then your brain keeps the file always open. And therefore, it's always looking for a resolution that doesn't exist, that never existed. And psychology tells us that to fix this, what do you have to do? You have to create your own closure. You have to accept that the lack of beginning was actually the end. And so the first step to de-pedestal that fantasy is to what? Is to go ahead and take them off the pedestal. And how? Well, start by writing a list of all the things that did not work, even if it was just an almost phase. Like, for example, did they constantly keep you on limbo? Or did they only call when it was only convenient for them? Because my loves, understand that the fact is this, is that they did not choose to be with you. That in itself, that is a massive incompatibility because you deserve someone who is always enthusiastic and who is a yes, a total yes about you and not a maybe, not I don't know type of person. And step number 2 is to what? Is to please allow yourself to grieve the potential. However, do not grieve the person. And this means what? This means to allow yourself to be sad, but also be honest about the reasons of why you're sad about, okay? Are you sad about the trips that you didn't take? Are you sad about the conversations you didn't have? Or are you sad about the future you planned that did not go through? Go ahead and acknowledge that those things were projections and that's it. And once you realize that you were the architect of that beautiful future, you will realize that you still own that architecture and that this time you can build it by yourself or with someone else who actually shows up. However, and step 3 is what we call doing a digital detox, all right? And here you have to know that you cannot heal in the same environment that made you sick in the first place. So for example, if you maybe are soft stalking that person's social media or their Instagram or whatever, or checking their active status constantly, then what you're doing is you're ongoingly picking a scab. So you need to either mute or unfollow them. And not because you're angry because they didn't love you the way you love them, but out of self-preservation, because your brain needs a space to reset its dopamine triggers away from their face and from their life, okay? And please, my loves, realize one thing. The one who got away is usually just the one who was not meant for you, because if things are meant to be, they would be. And realize right now that that space they are taking up in your heart is space that belongs to that person who is actually going to stay with you for good, right? And with this, we have reached the end of today's video, but I invite all of you to connect with me through Instagram. Go and check out my other music relaxing channel here on YouTube. Join the channel's membership in case you want to help, and also log into the matchmakingcupid.com just in case you may need one of our services. Once again, I am Maritza, and know that I will try my best to continue always keep bringing you ways on how to create a better bond with yourself and a more meaningful relationship with all those around you. Mwah. Till next time. Ciao, ciao, my loves. Ciao, ciao, my amores.